Y'all want power? These are the rackets you'll be looking at, especially the Venom. So this is the Nitrix lineup from 100, so in particular 100 and over, both the Venom and the Volta. We're going to talk about the new upcoming series. We're going to have to talk a little bit of technical details of obviously, and we're going to talk about particularly, you know, these two specific rackets, what they're good for, what they're not good for, which one I prefer, and of course, you know, stay tuned until the end because we will be giving these away, so stay tuned on how to enter the giveaway for them. Nitrix is going to be kind of like the Yonex Astrox lineup or like the Leaning Axe Horse lineup. You know, I just can't really speak much about Victor. I don't really review much of their rackets, but whatever their head-heavy offensive lineup would be. This is aimed at that same kind of segment of players. For the players that are looking for the big smash, for the power, right? For the, you know, the assistance and the overhead strokes in the, you know, above the net mid-court game, in the front court, kills, these are the rackets, right? So with every new lineup, with every new series, obviously there's going to be a bunch of new terminology, there's going to be a bunch of new technology that we have to discuss to make it easier to describe these rackets. So I am going to refer to my notes over here to my side, but basically all three lineups, so the Nitrix, the Flareon, and the Hyphonic, they are going to share some similar technology, so I think it's best that we talk about them. One, they're calling it their Vapor Shaft, and it's basically a reinforced shaft that helps with response, right? Curve 2 for me is like the, or Curve Squared, I guess, is the most interesting of the technologies, and basically they're calling it a unique frame shape that aligns with like natural swing, and it moves the sweet spot over to align with that swing path, which to me sounds crazy. And it does actually kind of make sense because we were sent these rackets before I was sent the marketing material. And I think this was intentional because they wanted us to feel for these rackets and not just be, you know, influenced and, you know, feel the placebo, so to speak. And one thing I did notice was like the sweet spot felt small on the rackets. But after I used them, I think it wasn't that the sweet spot was small, it was the sweet spot was in a different area. So I think the curved square frame shape is like, it's working, right? It's cooking. You're also going to see control foam in all three lineups. So the control foam, they're saying is just foam with inside the frame head to help dampen vibrations a little bit. Nothing too, you know, revolutionary here. T-fuse, right? Integrated T-joint, we've seen that before. All of the flagship rackets are going to be using M46X carbon, so that's going to be, you know, high-end carbon. And then, yeah, I think the last thing that I really want to talk about is hyperweave carbon fiber, which is apparently some kind of special construction technique that they're using for not just the Nitrix, but the Flareon and the Hyphonic to balance durability and performance. And I have clashed these rackets a few times in my doubles, and thankfully none of them have cracked or shown any cracks or, you know, breakage. So I'm very happy and pleased with that. So bear with me with this very long, I guess, intro. I'm gonna have to do this with every review video, so just skip ahead. It's fine, I totally understand if, you know, you're binge watching all three of them. So again, I was under the expectation that, you know, 100 would send one racket from each lineup. So I was very confused when they sent me two for the Nitrix lineup. Like, what is the difference between these two, not just visually, but like performance-wise, and like, what is the thought process between having two, I guess, first rackets to represent Nitrix? And I honestly haven't asked 100 this. I honestly am just speculating here, but I at first I assumed this would be like the, like a 100 ZZ and a ZX type deal. And using them, I don't think that's the case. They play very differently, so I honestly have no clue why they have two rackets. I can tell you what they said about them. So the Venom is supposed to be like the heavy hitter, the aggressive, the super, like, you just want to hit everything as hard as you can, like the Venom, right? And then the way they're describing the Volta is clean, aggressive power. So it's, you're still going to be aggressive, yes, but I guess you want a more balanced look. And interestingly enough, right, the Volta, the white one here, is going to have more similarities with the Flareon and the Hyphonic, and that they all three share a 7mm vapor shaft. Okay, the Venom is going to be the one that has the super thin 6.1mm vapor shaft, right? And that puts it in line with like 100ZZ material, right? So if you look at the 100ZZ here, right, as you can see, it's just as thin, if not a tad bit thinner. Appearance-wise, And then of course we could take a look. Yeah, the frame shape looks very similar. And like even without the 100ZZ, this is actually the first time that I did. You can kind of tell that the head shape in the Venom is a little bit different from the Volta, right? It's a little bit, it feels and it looks a little bit more compact. It might not be. It's just like, it might be placebo, but in the hands, when I'm maneuvering it, when I'm using it, when I'm just looking at it, it looks a little bit taller on the sides and a little bit more bunched up here. So it's like a unique compact head shape like the 100ZZ was, right? Obviously I don't have measurements, you know, but that is just how it feels and that's just how it plays. I could be totally wrong here, right? But it is worth to mention. So let's talk about these two. Long story short, I did not like the Volta at all. Okay, sorry to say that 100, but 100 is going to be seeing this the same time you guys are seeing it. I did not send this for approval, but yeah, the Volta felt, how would I say? What's the word I'm looking for here? What's the word I'm trying to say here? It felt average, right? Like it wasn't bad. You could play the shots well. It maneuvered well, but it didn't really have any identity to it. Like I picked it up and it didn't feel like its own racket. It felt like, you know, like a 77 from Yonex, or like, you know, like an Axe Force or whatever. It didn't really feel anything special to me, right? You know, the shots were fine, the placement was fine, the power was fine, albeit a little stiff, and performance-wise, I didn't like it from that aspect, but like, I mean, it's fine, right? Like, it was unspectacular is the word I'm looking for, or ordinary, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, I'll talk about it a bit more in specific, but the Venom, on the other hand, like, totally captivated me, right? Even if you play just like a simple clear, not even a full smash, you immediately feel the whip from the vapor shaft, from the 6.1, so thin shaft, bro. Like you can see, it's not, you know, super flexy. Like it has some flex, it has some whip, and it really reminded me of like the 100ZZ. And like, I mean, you all saw my video. I thought of it as like a whippier 100ZZ, and it plays a lot like that, right? Like, the repulsion is there, right? Even though it is head heavy, it does not feel unwieldy in the flat game, in the defense, simply because one, the shaft is thin, so aerodynamics, obviously. Two, fully recessed frame, so again, aerodynamics. And three, the head shape, bro. Again, it feels compact, it hits compact. So all these things are like negating its head heavy nature to make it more usable in the mid court and in the front court, where typically head heavy rackets tend to struggle a bit, right? And then of course in the backcourt, shit, like this fucking hits hard, like, like insane. I'm sounding like, you know, a player way better than I actually am, right? This is like cheat code access to power, like kind of how the 1000Z gives anyone that uses it like an instant like repulsion boost. It's like that feeling, but with power. So like if you are looking for, you know, easy access to power, I say this a lot in other videos, but like I think this takes the cake. Like, of all the times I've said that, if you're looking for like an ego boost, if you're looking for plus 50 kmh on your smash, literally pick this up. Don't change your string tension, don't change your string. You are going to like hit so much harder. People are gonna be like, what the hell have you been doing? Are you on steroids? Like it's crazy. It's crazy. And like, you would think that if it hits so well in the back, it'd be unusable in the midcourt and the front, and like it's not, right? It's like the Battle 900 from 100 as well, right? Where, you know, they negate some of the head weight disadvantage by being very aerodynamic and being very wieldy in that aspect. So like, it's usable in the midcourt, and it's usable in the front court, right? And the shaft isn't so flexy that, you know, you're experiencing severe head lag when you are, you know, whipping for defense, when you're, you know, doing fast drives. The response time is good too. So yeah, I think, like, honestly, bravo to this one. We can forget about the Volta. That's honestly how I feel, because it's like, if you use it too, it's like, I don't see why anyone would want the Volta over the Venom. Like, there are, like, yes, this does feel more stable, and yes, it does feel more all-rounded, but this is not that far behind in terms of all-aroundedness and maneuverability, and it hits so much harder with less effort than this does. Like, yeah. Okay, rant aside, let's kind of, I know, let's talk about the different areas first. So yeah, that is the Nitrix lineup as of now. And you know, obviously look in your stores for it. Pick up the Venom. I think these are going to sell out so fast. The giveaway, obviously for the Philippines only. Similar kind of mechanics, you know, follow me on Instagram, on TikTok, on my YouTube channel, right? Comment down below what racket you're currently using, right? What kind of play style do you currently have? Or you currently play around? Are you more all around? Are you more offensive? That kind of thing. And then obviously, whoops, join my Discord channel. This is where the winners will be announced and they will be messaged. So even if you do everything else, if you're not on Discord, you're not qualified, okay? Discord link is going to be at the top of my bio on TikTok. Answer the same question on Discord as well. You know, what racket you're kind of using? Why do you want one of these rackets? Which one do you want specifically? Okay? All right, best of luck. Let me know if there's any questions.